Hello, hello. Alright. Nope, put this in the same folder. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Hey, Frost. Thank you for liking my stuff for so long. I mean, I don't know how long exactly, but still, thank you. Probably at some point in the future. I don't know when. Alright, now let's get to finishing this up. Hope everyone's having a good day. Or had a good day so far. Well, hopefully she keeps you warm. That was a non-canon ending where she does get turned into food in that timeline, but in the canon timeline she's alive and doing other things. And then she's also been in like spin-off stuff where I made her win a burger contest, and she got like infinite burgers for a year, and so she got super fat off of that. But yeah, just dumb fun. Yeah, she will be getting a comic soon. Yeah, sometimes I do bursting stuff. Just depends on my mood and if a certain idea comes to mind. I know. Gonna try to get more secrets pages done this week after the current stuff that I'm working on, which hopefully I should be done with those tonight. Thank you. I try. Just gotta keep practicing with whatever I have trouble with. Which is a lot of things, but still. Nothing gonna keep me from trying. Big old round body. True. I was actually thinking that as I was saying it, of the whole try and do differences. And you're right. I need to do better, and I need to do the things I want to do, and not try, just, you know, set out to do it, and if there's a problem or a mistake, or it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted, you know, just keep practicing and do better. So you are 100% right. I need to remove try from my vocabulary when it comes to stuff like that. Which is exactly why I've been streaming more often. Because I want to move forward in a lot of areas, and so I'm putting in the effort to do so. Well, Gadget wasn't my start, but she was definitely up there. How long have I been drawing? Well, if we're just talking in general, I've been drawing since I was 2. If we're talking like comics, I've been doing that since 2001. And if we're talking like the current stuff that I've been doing, like with iHat and Creamfield and all the other current comic stuff that I've been doing, I've been doing that since 2015. Yeah, it had to be 2001 because I was in middle school by that time. No, it wasn't 2001. It had to have been 2003 because I was in high school when I started World Gates. But I've been drawing some of the characters for World Gates in 2001. because that was before they got put into a comic. Because Viro was the first. I might have. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember if I did or didn't. I'd have to see the joke again to know if I did. Look at an anime, like look at photos of people and other references. Like, if you can't do it by memory, then just look at reference. There's nothing wrong with that. If anybody gives you crap about it, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. Everybody uses reference. It's not a big deal. So just use reference. Sometimes tracing is good. Like, the whole point of tracing is to teach yourself to get into the rhythm and flow of how something is structured, and then you learn to, draw it on your own by learning anatomy and whatever art styles that you're trying to study, and etc. And then you just keep practicing. Like, look at the way poses are, how the hips curve and stuff like that, and how the back placement's done. I say this, though most of the time I ignore this advice, because I kind of just go, or I just look at a pose of a character that I like and just try to mimic it as closely as possible, or use it as a base and then go off the track and end up with something that's different from what I'm looking at. So sometimes that happens. But ultimately, yes, look at anatomy and figure references and stuff like that. And there's plenty of references on the internet. Like, you can just look up figure drawing or body poses, anatomy poses, because there are people that just put that stuff out for free. You can find it easily. And then, in my case, I've been saving all kinds of artwork and references and tutorials and videos. I've been saving that stuff since I was 13. So I have decades worth, well, at least 20 years worth of references and stuff at my disposal. So, literally, if the internet were to die tomorrow, I would have more reference than God at this point. Or more, well, obviously God could have infinity, but still, you get my point. I would have more than I would possibly need to last me years. The only downside if the internet were to die is, like, I wouldn't be able to post my stuff online. I'd have to do it physically. But you get the point. Well, I'm 37, and I've been saving it since I was 13. So, over 20 years at this point. But yeah, like, just look at reference. Why don't vegans moan during sex? Because they don't do a piece of meat makes them happy. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, I definitely missed that. But yeah, like, again, just look at reference. Whether it be learning from Western comics, or looking at life or photos of life, like people posing and stuff like that in real life, manga, I mean, literally anything, like whatever your interest is, study it. Like, just look at that. And definitely learn anatomy, so that way you know how the body works and stuff like that, so that way later on, when you start to purposely break it, you'll understand it more and know what you're doing. And then eventually you'll learn your own style, like it just happens over time. Whenever you think you're ready to do commissions, just do it, and whatever you think you're worth, then start with that as a price. Like, everybody starts off at any price that they feel they're justified. Like, there's technically no base start of like, oh, you know, you've only been drawing for like 2 days, so your artwork should only be $1. Like, there's none of that. It's like, whatever you think you're worth, just say that as your price. If people are willing to pay for it, cool. Sometimes you might have to adjust prices, but that's 100% up to you. If somebody says your prices are too high, or in weird cases too low, you don't have to listen to them. Like, you make your own decisions and go off of that. And it just boils down to trial and error. Like, oh, okay, people are willing to pay X amount of dollars for blank, and then you continue from there. Or, you know, if you feel your art style or your artwork in general has gotten better over time, then you can decide if you want to charge more and see what happens. Like, the whole point of art is that it's very flexible, and so, you know, it's you should be able to adjust. 500 every 5 minutes. If there was some psycho willing to do that, and then even crazier people willing to pay for it, then, you know, kudos to them. It's like, you know what, if that was the case and they made it work somehow, then, you know, fuck, gotta figure out that puzzle. Because I would love for that to be a thing. $20. Do I just post a reference sheet? Well, you make a reference sheet of, you know, what you're willing to draw for how much. So, like, you know, if you're gonna do a sketch of just like the head or the bust or the entire body or coloring, whatever, you know, the different categories are, you show those as examples. You put out, you know, how much you're willing to charge to do them. You put them up, and then you definitely put up a post that says you're open. And then however many slots that you're willing to do. Best advice, do not do more than you're willing to do. So, like, for example, don't open and take on like 10 commissions if you're not able to do 10 commissions in a timely manner. So, like, for example, if it takes you a month or two to do 10 drawings, that's probably a bad idea, because you're going to frustrate people who have to wait an extremely long time. And sometimes there are people that are willing to wait that long, but you kind of gotta feel the room based on your art style. So, like, for example, if your art style is just, let's just say, flat colors with a mild art style. So, like, what's the best way of giving an example? So let's say your art style is, let's say something like Hello Kitty, where it's just really simple shapes and it's flat color and that's it. Like, there's no shading or anything. If it takes you a month to do 10 drawings of something like that, then it might raise an eyebrow of like, dude, the art style isn't too complicated. Why is it taking an entire month to get that done, type of thing. So kind of, you know, base it around however long it takes you to actually get a picture done. So kind of figure that out based on how long it actually takes you to do that. So, you know, try to do the math on that. And yeah, again, it just boils down to what you feel you're worth, and if there are people willing to pay for it, or um, they think that your art style doesn't justify it. That's up to you to decide. So, and then if there's something that you're not willing to draw, but somebody's trying to, up the money to get you to draw something that you're not comfortable with, you have the ability to say no. Don't, force yourself to do something you don't want to do and then regret it later or something. That's completely up to you. I think that's about it, really. Do I have a Discord? Yes, but it's for my Patreon stuff. Says Becky, where the... Go. But yeah, I mean, that's basically all there really is to it. You just keep drawing and practicing, and then when you feel that you're able to do commissions, then give it a try, and just adjust your prices accordingly, really. If you, again, if you think you're worth $20 or $100, go for it. There are some artists that charge a ridiculous amount, and for the most part, yeah, they're worth it. From what I've seen, one artist was doing a Your Character Here set, and it was a giant gathering of multiple character slots. So I think it was 15 characters or something like that. So everybody had a chance to pay for a spot, and that artist was charging $2,000 or more for different spots. Different spots had different prices based on how big and small the character was or what the character was doing. So yeah, that person was charging however they felt they were worth, and they thought they were worth $2,500 a slot. So there's always that. Becky in a bathrobe and curlers. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, I need to make more Becky skins. Gonna make a plan for that soon. Let's try to smooth out a bit. I think it's fine the way it was. There we go. Let's darken this area a little bit more. There we go. Late night, Becky. Alright. Mario costume Becky. Should be more likely to wear a Sonic outfit. Just give her Rouge the Bat and she'll be overly stuffed in that outfit. Amy outfit, her ass would be hanging out. And that outfit would be way too small for her. She'd be like, Christ, who the hell wears this? At least the Rouge outfit, there's a chance of it being stretched out a bit more. Bowsette. She'd be like, oh yes, like I needed any more animal parts on my body. She'd end up with horns and a fucking spiked shell. That'd literally be the only real difference, and maybe her hair turns blonde, but that's about it. It's like, what's the difference? Oh yeah, the crown, of course. Blueberry with the Rouge outfit. Well, the top would be spacious. But the bottom, she'd rip the shit out of that. Because her ass be fat. Well, Becky's already got cat hands. Wouldn't be too much of a difference. Well, tiger hands to be more specific. She's already decked out with tons of animals. If it was the Tanuki suit, then that'd be a little bit different, though she is part raccoon as well. But not a raccoon dog, if that's the difference. Although she is part wolf. You know what? Let's just throw random ass outfits on her and see what happens. Hopefully she doesn't kill us all before we get a reaction. Yeah, I can see Chun-Li doing that. Or Jam wearing a Chun-Li outfit. Oh yeah, the bondage suit. Jam could definitely kick fast since she's a demigod. I would say be similar to Seth from Street Fighter 4 when he does his multi-kick. Yeah, that was a fun one. We'll have to use that again pretty soon, but that probably won't happen until the bar episode comic thing. Oh, yeah. I know that character. When I first saw that character, she just reminded me of Frankie from Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends. And at first I thought it was like some like fan art when I first saw the character, and then I later on saw clips of the show. I was like, oh, okay, this looks neat. I draw humans. Maybe someday I'll draw those too. it may be a while before I'm open for commissions again. I'm debating on it for next year, but I'm not 100%. We'll see how I feel by then. Okay, that should be good for that. Well, for me, I like to vary things up. Yeah, I do weight gain a majority of the time, but I do like to venture into a variety. So that way I keep things fresh. This way. Yes, I've done transformation stuff a few times. Actually, a lot of the time, because I have a lot of characters that change forms. Yes, she is permanently fat. I can make her skinny anytime I want, but canonically she is fat. Yeah, she's not gonna burst canonically. There'd be no point. Uh, if I ever make enough to pay people to do that, sure. If I were to try to do it on my own, I would either just try to voice it myself and then, use like Audacity to adjust my voice and all that, or cheap out and find a text-to-speech thing. But right now, that's not on the table. But I would like to in the future. I just don't know when the hell that would be. No, Becky sounds like Daria from Daria. And if I were to choose a second voice for her, it would probably be Tina from Looney Tunes Show. Those two fit her the most. Or at least that's how I envision her when I draw her, so that's what goes on in my head when I'm drawing the character. Oh yeah, that was a commission. That one's not even canon. But yeah, that was a commission. And it was funny because it's a commission by two different people. So the first 3 pages was by one person, and then another person wanted to continue it, and then they did the other 3. Owl Lady? I have no idea who she would voice from my characters. I'd have to think about that. I forget her name from Owl House. I've only watched a little bit of Owl House. I'll have to watch the whole thing. I think I only watched like the first season. Back when it first started. I know it's really good, I just haven't taken the time to watch it. Same thing for Demon Slayer. I need to watch that too. There's a lot that I need to watch. Just gotta make time for it. I need to get organized. Probably erase a little bit of this. I mean, manga already gets that kind of artwork anyway. And I like that the creator, Scott, likes flip-flopping between male and female with Mangle, just to mess with people. Because there will be, I think it was in Sister Location with Funtime Foxy, where the dialogue keeps swapping between male and female. And then because Mango has two heads, we don't know which one's talking with which voice. And it's both male and female. So it's completely intentional. Yeah, I don't care which gender it is either, because I just like Mangle in general. Especially in FNAF 2, when it has that psychotic look on its face when it's hanging from the ceiling. I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, nope, don't want to deal with that. Exactly. This character, she's actually a moth. She just happens to have these colors. Because she is a adopted character that I adopted a while back. So, decided to draw her, or to make my own version of her. Like, here's the original. I like moths. Moths are cool to look at. They're really nice designs. Or anatomy. I like how people have made those little like fluffy moth toys that you can pose and stuff like that and hang off of stuff. Yeah, those are good. Butterflies of the night. I know, right? If it wasn't for like, oh crap, they're eating my clothes, then they'd probably be almost perfect. Aside from flapping around the lights all the time. It's like, all right, enough, stop. Should be good. It would be cute to have a pet moth that could speak like that. And you just have to teach it like, yes, I know the light is pretty, but you gotta stop being distracted by it. You don't want to get hurt, especially if it's a fucking bug zapper. You definitely don't want it hovering around that. Interesting. From what? If we're talking about the main, the one from Skylar and all that, that's Tiffany. All right, have a good night. I'm not gonna make a channel. I think we're good on that. You can draw them if you want. Just credit where they came from. Okay, she should be good, and I don't think she needs... another layer for the eyes. Just put it in there just in case. I don't have time for trades. I got way too much on my plate. Okay, so how is her original background? Because I can try to mimic it. Oh, that seems easy enough. Yeah, in that timeline, she was bullying Marcy. In the canon timeline, Blake steps in and keeps her away from Marcy. And then she gets drunk with Blake. Is this the one I'm looking for? I think this is. Let's use this much. This should be good enough. Not a perfect line, but that's fine. No. Not really. Like, sometimes there are days where I'm, like, tired or something like that, I'm just, like, not in the mood, but other than that, nah. There's always something I want to draw, or some, piece of artwork or story that I want to tell. So yeah, I never really have that issue. Do I want to use it like this? Let's toy around with it and see how I feel. But yeah, other than days where I'm just kind of tired or whatever, there really isn't a scenario that I'm like that I like lose motivation. Yeah, just go at your own pace. Like, it's not like you're on a schedule or anything. So yeah, just go about at your own pace, and then work on keeping yourself motivated and pushing yourself to work on stuff if you're really interested in drawing more. So yeah, baby steps. Yeah, I've drawn her vat a number of times. I don't have to imagine. What do I want from this? I don't think these lines are gonna do it. I'm gonna have to find better ones. Where are you? Here. Oh, this could work. That is not what I want to do. There we go. I can make them smaller. Or, nah, I'll keep it big. Just so I don't have to tweak at the lighting. I like the dark of that one though. Might be a situation where I do twice. I think that's fine. I don't need to go super crazy about it. But I do want to give her a bit of a glow. Actually, 2 sides are safe for work. It just depends on who you are and what you do with your life. Because there are plenty of artists that do keep their artwork separated. Honestly, usually it's because they work in a professional field and stuff like that. So they'll have accounts where it's the safe for work stuff, and then they'll have like alternate aliases where they have all the not safe for work stuff. And there are plenty of people in the like comics industry or video games or 3D modeling and stuff like that that have not safe for work content. It's just a matter of figuring out who they are and stuff like that. And a lot of times they just use different names and pen names and stuff like that, so you'll never know. And honestly, if that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. And if you want to have both content together, that's also perfectly fine. It's just a matter of how you go about it, and how you deal with professionalism. So like when it comes to, you know, working in the industry and all that, and you want to keep that stuff hidden, then just make a professional account and then have the other one on the side for yourself, and just be, you know, really private about it. Like, don't be stupid and tell people that you shouldn't be telling. So like, for example, if you're working with like somebody in the industry and you decide to tell that person that you have a bunch of mature content somewhere, you know, be careful, because that might bite you in the ass if you ever decide to do that. So you just gotta decide what you want to do with yourself. It's kind of like a few years back. It was when there was a art folder, art book or whatever, of people who worked on SpongeBob, and it was just a bunch of like mature artwork of SpongeBob and other artwork that they did for fun, and they decided to make copies and made like a booklet and for themselves. So not all, but like a good chunk of the animators had their own copy of that content, and then eventually, I can't remember if it like leaked out or if someone bought it from someone else, but it eventually got put on the internet, and so people found out like, oh hey, a lot of the SpongeBob animators drew a lot of not safe for work SpongeBob content. Same thing goes for Ninja Turtles. The creator of Astro Boy drew a bunch of mature furry artwork and stuff like that. Like, it's all over the place. I would not be surprised if like the creators of Nintendo stuff did the same thing. Like, I'd be more surprised if they didn't. But yeah, like I said, if you're trying to work in a professional setting, then yeah, you definitely want to keep that stuff separated, just so you don't have any problems with, like, you know, your boss and stuff like that. Like, you don't want to get let go for stupid reasons. Oh yeah, that stuff's been out there for a while now, for a number of years. Because if I remember correctly, after like the guy had passed away like quite a while ago, or quite a bit ago, but I believe his daughter had went through his stuff because he had passed away, and she found a folder with just a bunch of furry stuff. That's why you have not Baki. Was it Baki? Baki. Is that who it was? Oh, Baggy, the monster of mighty nature. There's from that movie, she transforms between like being a normal cat to like anthropomorphic cat and a anthro woman or a pharaoh cat too. And in the booklet, there's been like risque artwork of her and stuff like that, or her riding a motorcycle. So yeah, like it was pretty obvious. And then he also drew like weird like transformation, mutation looking artwork and stuff like that with rat girls and stuff. So yeah. So again, like that stuff exists. Or even Dr. Seuss, he drew some darker artwork outside of his usual, Cat in a Hat and Grinch stuff. So yeah, all that stuff exists. Oh really? That was a running joke. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, a good chunk of people are furries, or make art or make either furry artwork or risque artwork, one or the other. Like, again, I'd be more surprised if they didn't. And if they truly don't, then cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just only drawing safe for work stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you do make that content, just be responsible and like properly label it, and like if you're putting it on a website, make sure that it's labeled correctly and locked, so that way people of age can see it, so that way you don't have problems with that. Other than that, yeah, do what you want. Yeah, like again, I'd be more surprised if it didn't, if someone didn't draw that stuff, if they're an artist. And again, there are plenty of people who don't draw mature artwork, and that's perfectly fine. There's no real reason to get angry. If somebody does stuff like that, just move on. Like, they are not worth the time. Like, you have much better things to do than worry about some random person who doesn't like furries or does like furries and is being shitty about it or something. Like, it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. Yeah, sometimes you will come across some stuff that you're like, oh, that's okay then. It just depends on how you handle it. And if it's something you don't like, then if there's any blocking features on certain websites, use them. That's kind of it, really. Like, if you don't like it, just do your best to not look at it ever again. And sometimes you will see it again, and that happens. Like, there's not much you can do about it other than just, if they have blocking features, use it. Okay, we're pretty much done. I'm just gonna give her a glow, and then we're good. I want to use this color. That's fine. Lower the opacity, because I don't want it to be overblown. I think it needs to be more than that. That seems too much. This is one of those tricky ones. I mean, yeah, that's one of those scenarios where you just gotta do your best to avoid that kind of content, if that's not to your liking. Not really much else I can tell you on that. And then you also gotta not take it to heart. Like, obviously, if somebody doesn't like a certain character and you see them, like, just destroying them, that's on them. That's their decision to do so. And, again, just use features to block yourself from seeing it again, or just do your best to avoid it. And if it's too prevalent on whatever sites that you go on, then the best advice I can give you is just to stop going to those sites if it's too much for you. Oh, damn it, I'm using the wrong color. Or, yeah. I can do it this way. Aha. That's how we learn. Yeah, it happens. It just boils down to trying not to click on that content either. If you happen to see a thumbnail or whatever. And if you do, you can, I think you can block the user. You should be able to. I don't see why you wouldn't. Almost feels like she has to be. Alright, let's go through this and see. Color dodge. That might be the one I want. This is a tough one. Because she's like in that weird sweet spot. Okay, I think I got it. Alright. They kind of are nowadays. Like, yeah, you still have dumbasses trying to stir the pot, but for the most part, people know that furries are pretty chill and nice, and you know, good people and all that. I mean, that's always been the case. They just have to beat off the whole people making up random rumors and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, this is from Sonic Adventure. This is E101 Mark II's theme. Alright, so she's pretty much done. Just got a marker now. Oh yeah, I need to... I'll just grab another adopted character, make my life easier. Bonnie, we'll use you. Copy. And with that, she is done. This game came out in 1999, so close enough. But yeah, pretty much done. I'm gonna call it for tonight. Here's both the characters next to each other. So my version and the original. And yeah, thank you for coming. I will stream again next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, I'll just keep on working on whatever the hell I'm working on. And I'll see you then. So have a good night. Take care.